Hello, hello, hello. How you doing this fine Saturday evening? Let's get it here and pray. I pray your day has been amazing. Mine has. It's amazing when the little birdies come and drop stuff right at your doorstep. Ain't it amazing? That's how God will do it. He'll bring it straight to you. Thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Okay. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come nigh my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left hand side, and 10,000 at my right, but it will not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper. It'll form, but it won't prosper. Because I have the breakthrough formula from Jesus, Stove, and the room along. Why all three? Because God said he calling everybody to the table. If you ever wanted to have a sit down with God, God said, come on. He never gave stipulations and rules. That was humans that did that. God said, come on. And I walk in and instead of fussing about what it looks like. Come on now. I'm just saying. God said, come on and have a seat. He got a lot to say. You might not like what he got to say sometime because God be in your face. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4, think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on him, God will keep me in perfect peace. No, it don't make sense, but it makes faith. Because what I have faith in, I'm going to believe. And what I believe, I'm going to act on. And what I act on, I'm going to see happen over here in the spirit realm before it comes in this realm. This realm been changed so many times because people don't want to tell the truth. But you know what they say, tell the truth, shame the devil. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me and I am you. You placed a small allspark in my heart before I even entered my mother's womb. Let's talk about it. God told Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1 and 2, he said, I knew thee before you entered your mother's womb. Why did God tell Jeremiah that? Because God was calling Jeremiah forth to be a prophet to the nations. And the thing was, Jeremiah was a child. Jeremiah said, I don't know what to say. And God said, I knew you before you entered your mother's womb. And if God says it for one, he going to say it for all because God is not a respecter of person. If he'll do it for me, he'll do it for you. If you're willing to put in the work. Honey, God placed this small allspark in our heart right here. And it's up to us how we see it. It could be a foot, 20, 40, 100 feet, 1,000 feet, could be bigger than that. But it's based on how we use it. Like Ephesians 3:20 said, God would do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think according to how we believe it. So how you believe it, how you see the Lord. Okay, how you see the love in your life. How you believe it. If you don't believe it, you're going to see just a foot. If that. How about that? You can't be mad at somebody else because they getting all of it. It's how you see it, not nobody else. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods, we made all this stuff to put between us and God. God said, I ain't got no problem with everything that you putting right there. The thing, my concern is, this is God's concern. You gonna go to another human before you come to God? God said the humans, they don't know nothing. They're going to bamboozle you, hoodwink you. They're going to lie to you. They're going to take stuff from you, steal from you, and then try to give it back to you like it's yours. They're going to sell it to you like it's yours, like this land. But hey, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay. Honey, don't get bamboozled, okay? Don't get hoodwinked. Pay attention. Step to God first. And when you step to God first, God going to give you a word of knowledge. And if you don't hear that word of knowledge where you at, it's time to leave that brook. Because if God could lead Elijah to 2 brooks, he led him to the brook and the ravens fed him. Then he took him over here to the widow and she fed him. And she was taken care of for the rest of her life and had enough to sell. Hush your fuss and get on the bus. That lets you know that God is out here blessing everybody that's involved if you're willing to do the work. That's the thing. If you're willing to do the work and changing your mindset of who you used to be. Is it easy? It challenges you every day. Every day. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God. Your name is higher than any name that is named on this earth or the universe. If it can be conjugated in a sentence and a punctuation put at the end of the sentence, God is higher than that. And let me tell you something. If I'm going to think of something I try to tell you and you try to tell me, it's going to be in a sentence or some few paragraphs, which means it's a sentence and it has punctuation. So guess what? There's nothing that we can do that's bigger than God. David said, if I go above the sky, you're there. If I go underneath the ground, you're there. If I go into the ocean, you're there. Wherever you go, God is there because God is in your heart. Where you running to? Nowhere. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. There is no lack. There's only provision. It's just some people are hoarding the provision. Okay, you're more than enough, and you supply all I need. It may not look the way I thought it was going to look, but it's supplied. I'm worthy because I exist, and I exist because I'm worthy. There's nothing that God will ever withhold from me. You are not. Let me tell you something. God is our source, not the things on the outside of us. See, God will use the people on this earth to bless us. See, wealth comes from the north, as above, so below, not from the east, west, or the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if I believe it, because it's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. If God is over here and I'm over here, God said, come to me as you are, and I get up and I come to God. That means I change my perspective to come to God. Every time you get up and go to somebody, you're changing your perspective. Make sure it is worth it. Jehovah Rapha, my healer, you heal my mind, my soul, my body, and my spirit. You heal so much of me. Honey, it's so hard to keep up. But you know what? I ain't getting no crazy positions this morning. I did pretty good in my exercise. Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. Ain't no getting even with people. Ain't no arguing with people. They know what they did. You know what they did. Why we wasting breath? Just send all that negative energy up to the Creator. Ask the Creator to cleanse it and purify it, so you can send it back to the sender, cleanse and purify it. Ain't no blocking their path. Ain't no stopping their path. No matter what they did. No matter what they done. Why? We got cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action. Meaning everything that we do and say is a seed, and seeds grow into the background. It could be a cedar, a Lebanon cedar, or it can be an oak tree. You choose. But everything is going to be a tree, good or bad. I live under the law of assumption that it's already worked out, and I don't have to stress about it because it's already a scripture that says, don't worry about that. I got that. Everything doesn't require my fight or my response. I choose my battles properly, and I leave it in God's hands. Ain't no fussing and no stressing me out, and so to be, and so to be, and forevermore. Some stuff ain't even worth your time. They want you to fuss and stuff so they can take your energy. See, when you raise your energy and when you raise your energy and you going with them, what happens is you give your power away because your power is in your calmness. Even if you get the opportunity to raise your voice, it's still a calm on the inside. See, that's what I'm talking about. Are you calm? Or if somebody took everything from you? They ain't took everything from you till they take your power, then they took it. Look in the description below to see a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. Okay, let me see. There you go. Understanding True Intimacy. I don't know why they didn't go into view today, but hey. Page 86. Trust me, I have everything in my hands. Relax in my presence. Trust me. Let go of the reins and let me handle it all. Come on here, now. God always got a word of knowledge. Okay. And so don't forget about my other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those books are my shadow activity books. Why? Because you get to have fun working on your shadow. My thing was I seen all the shadow workbooks were out here, but they were lacking some things for me. If I'm dealing with my inner child and my inner teenager, I need more than diagrams. I need to be able to color, but that's just me. That's just me. So God said, we'll make it. And I said, okay, then say less. So with this, you get a word of knowledge. Then you get an exercise. Okay, fun. And you get a shadow question, not so fun. But it allows you to look in the mirror so you can see yourself for who you really are. Then you get a color page. Okay, the color page allows you to do this. It is from age, God asked him to keep between the age of 5 and 10. Why? Because most childhood wounding happens between the age of 5 and 10 when you can't stand up for yourself. And the people that get the opportunity to stand up for you may not know how to because nobody ever done it for them. Okay. And then by the age of 7, it is solidified. By the age of 10, it is really in your system. By the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility to find your way out of this situation because now you are of age and You really can't blame anyone because now it's your responsibility to find your way out. The fifth thing that you get is 4 pages. Okay. To doodle, to draw, to sketch, to write out your dreams, your visions, your plans, whatever you want to do, all in one space so you can reach back and get it. It'd be a great gifts, be great things to give to people in your family. Okay. And don't forget about my New York Times bestsellers. You get to know more about me. Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. And Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. Those are my New York Times bestsellers. You can see those. God is good. God don't care nothing about your background because he don't care. Let me tell you why. He knows all the hairs on your head. Plus, if you don't have any hair on your head, God knows your peace face. Notebooks and journals for all. Coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the Women's Leveling Up that was done in May. You'll also see 3 magazines I was carried in September, October, and December. I placed a new link to my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about that venture. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property, although a lot of stuff is on Amazon except my personal journals. Okay, those will change your life. There are some freebies there that I added for you. I added a link to the 105 spiritual laws. There's really only 7 in the Kabbalah book, but there's 12 in another book. And I said, God is not the author of confusion. Then I did a study, found out it is 105 spiritual laws. Disclaimer, even though it's 105 spiritual laws, we are no longer underneath the Mosaic law. We are now under love and grace. When Jesus came, whether you want to say he was archetype or what, when Jesus came here, mighty funny. If he wasn't real, it's mighty funny. They took out 54 books out of the Bible and hid them so we wouldn't see them. Okay, I'm just saying. They took out 54 books out of the Bible, the Apocrypha. Books of most stuff about Esther that you didn't know, most stuff about Daniel that you didn't know, and the 3 Hebrew boys that you didn't know. You thought the Bible gave some more stuff? Oh, they took out some more stuff that'll show you some power, some stuff that Doubting Thomas had. Doubting Thomas got about 4, 5 chapters in here. Mary Magdalene got some chapters. Matter of fact, all the women that ministered with Jesus got chapters because they took them out of there. Because see, let me tell you something about a woman that has some information. We are incubators, honey. We will incubate that thing to the full 10-month period. Child, we will turn that sucker inside out because we trying to milk it to get all of it. And we have an opportunity to release our ego and sit it down on the thing and listen to what's being said and read it for ourselves and understand and then mess around and we get that thing. Oh, it's over. That's why for so long they sat women down in church and said women don't need to speak. Because how they said it in the Bible is not how it's supposed to be said in church. But see, they were stopping the meetings and they said if the wife or the woman wants to know something, let her ask her husband when they get home, because they kept blocking off the meeting because they had so many questions. It wasn't how they said. Okay, read it for yourself. You see what I'm talking about? Okay, because they were blocking up the meetings. Okay. That's how they try to keep you out of the. Well, let's get back. So Jesus gave us 2 paradigms. He said, you have the opportunity to love an unlovable. First of all, you put up a boundary between whatever they did, okay? And then you say, I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you. And then I release you in love. And then you going about your business. You let them go on about theirs. You are Abraham and Lot. You going about your business, okay? Then you say, I forgive myself. Why? Because it says, I forgive my debtor. Forgive me of my debts as I forgive my debtors. So I'm going to forgive myself first. And then I'm going to forgive the person that hurt me. Why? Because when you forgive them, you release yourself. If you stay in the place and you got that anger inside of you, they can take your life because you standing in one place. As long as you standing in one place, they can roll up on you and get you. And then you also, the disciples asked Jesus, do I forgive my brother 7 times? Jesus said no, 7 times 70. So that's 490 times for the same indiscretion. And it feels like that because growth goes in a cycle. It goes in a cycle like this. It doesn't go linear. It goes like this. So instead of, when they say new level, new devil, no, it's the same thing, but it's on a different level. Okay. That's right. Whatever you dealt with coming in, you're going to deal with that as you go up. You're going to keep going. You're going to get everything that was a trigger. You're going to see it again. That's why it's good to write down what you went through so you can know what you did. Okay. And then Okay, grace is God's willingness to get involved with human affairs. If you like me, I gave God full reign. I said, look, God, if I'm down here and I get in a situation I can't get out, I'm gonna need you to reach down here and grab me. God said, say less because I don't put too much in you. Just like the 10 Commandments. It's the 10 Commandments, really, it's 613 commandments. And if you want to see them all, get the Torah and get the Tanakh or the Kamash. Wherever Christian books are sold or wherever books are sold, they'll order it for you. Okay? Get you a copy. It'll change your life when you put it beside the Bible with the Old Testament and you look at everything, it'll mess your head up. You see the truth, okay? It will mess your head up. You be like, wait a minute. So this is what they meant? Man, somebody get somebody and sit down, honey. And then God told the Israelites, break it down. God told the Israelites, there's no way possible you can keep some 613 laws every day for the rest of your life and not get tired. You see, they said it ain't need God. Okay. This is what they told Moses and Aaron. And Moses said, we do need God. I can't move this without God. If God ain't going, I ain't going. That's what he told them. They said, we got this. That's why they built that golden calf. Okay. And so they said we could do this, us and our children. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't ask to be in this. So then they did it again with Barabbas and Jesus. Okay, they said, who do you want? The king said, who do you want to release? They said, Barabbas. And the king said, ain't got nothing to do with this. He washed his hand, ain't got nothing to do. They said, that's fine. Put it on us and our children. I said, wait. See, I ain't asked to be in this. See, I ain't even get a vote. I wasn't even born yet. And so that's why Jesus came and gave us everything that he did, the love and the grace. But see, what happened is 100 AD and 200 AD, they removed them books out of the Bible. So the elders was gone and nobody kept the same thing. You know why? Because by that time, people was on lockdown and there was so much going on and nobody talked about it anymore. And said until later, close to the end of the 1800s, stuff started coming out. Okay, so check this out. We know everything, but we don't know anything. That's why in the Bible it says to come as a child, so you know how to let go. And that keeps us from attachments as we go through each level. And lesson taught to me by Jesus stole for issue. Because when you let it go, that allows God to put some more in. You know that song, Let Go and Let God. Okay, Mr. Pugh, let go and let God. For real, just don't sing the song and you don't let go and let God. See, the whole purpose is allowing God to lead instead of you leading. Because see, the ego said, I know what I'm doing. And the minute you say you know what you're doing, you finna fall on your face. That's why I stay on this thing. Everything is like a oxymoron when you're walking with God. It's a paradox. And the minute you think you know everything, you get humbled. So don't judge. Okay. Talk to me about Jesus Stove and issue. Just like the Adjective PDF, put that together with your 400 values PDF, change your whole Sims character to this janky promoter game. Don't forget, that's what I did. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Look, don't forget to come on over to the school app and check me out. Come on over to my page. I was just inducted into, well, in 2025, I was inducted into the Who's Who of 2025, Influential Women of 2025, and Worldwide Women. Okay, God was on the road. Hush your fuss and get on the road. And look what I received in 2017. I was helping women and teenage girls coming out of sex trafficking. And I had a lot of help, but I looked up, everybody was gone. They went to go help somebody else do the same thing. Did I get mad? No, because when people want to leave, let them go. I kept going because I said God put me on this mission. So I kept going. So then I was helping teenage girls that came out and said they were LGBTQ, and came out and told their parents that. And the ones that came out and said that they was pregnant, their parents kicked them out. So I grabbed them and put them in a teen center, or I let them stay where I was at. Okay. Then I was helping out the women that came out of domestic violence. I was putting them in a safe place. Okay. We lost 2 women because they went back more than once. They went back more than once. And you say, man, that's crazy. Well, everybody's addicted to something. Some people are addicted to adrenaline. Some people are addicted to food. Some people are addicted to drugs. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Everybody is addicted to something. Okay. So when you judge, you're judging yourself too. Okay. Then I was also helping. No, ma'am. Then the dogs are barking. I told my dog, no, ma'am. You too good for that. Don't do that. And then And then I was helping people that lost everything in fires and floods. Because people knew I had a nonprofit, they were always giving me stuff: baby clothes, teenage clothes, young children clothes. I would wash them up and just put them, because I knew people was coming. And that one day there was a huge fire, and people gave me so much stuff, I just went ahead and put it in the storage. And then people came and was like, well, this is what I need. And I said, how many bedrooms you got? And they told me, and I said, I'm going to take that because other people are coming. Child, and I was giving them Ziploc bags full of toiletries, and the women got the menstrual toiletries. And then I also gave the women the fingernail polish and the fingernail polish removing. Why? Because just because you lost everything in seconds doesn't mean that you don't want to feel good about yourself. Sometimes you need just a little bit of pick me up, and sometimes just a little bit of fingernail polish, a little bit of rouge, something to say, okay, I'm back in the game. Okay, just a little bit of something. And then I was helping this one family for Thanksgiving, and then she told me she got laid off, and a whole bunch of people was getting laid off at their job. And I said, okay. So I find out the names that she could remember. I put them in a bowl, and then and I pulled the names out, and then I gave 2 gifts to each child. Plus, I made sure their house was catered by Honey Baked Ham. I had to work on my budget. Okay, Honey Baked Ham, because I was doing it alone. And then I made sure they had groceries of $150 per house. And then later that year, I helped women go through therapy. I paid for 3 months or 6 months of therapy. Then I made sure they had $250 or $150 worth of groceries. Again, I worked on my budget. Every time something was given to me, I would push it back into the nonprofit because I was trying to build it to keep going. And so I took the pictures and I just put it on my website, Refuge Women's Transition Center. That's it. Mm-hmm. Everything else I didn't do. I'm thankful that God said this. He said, whatever you do in private, I reward you in public. Okay, I'm so glad of that, because you don't have to put on fanfare and put it in front of everybody's face to show what you're doing. Okay. I'm just grateful for that. I am. I'm so grateful and thankful. Don't forget to look at your link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with all natural remedies for my assistance during the diagnosis I received of breast cancer in 2017. They said I had 6 months to live. I said the devil is a lie. And they said, ma'am, it's all on your left hand side. I said, the devil is a lie. I'm not leaving here. I'm not going here like that. I'm going for another reason, but not like that. And they was like, well, we need to do immediate surgery. And I started asking questions. They tried to gaslight me. Don't ever let somebody give you surgery that's gaslighting you. You're not going to do a good job, okay? They T-move doctors, okay? Don't do it. So I said, what you're not going to do is do a science project on me. So I said, I got me. I'm good. Before I left, I said, I bind every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every growth, every tumor, every parasite. Now we finding out cancer is a parasite. So why they putting radiation on a parasite? That's just asinine, ain't it? Don't make sense, right? Honey. So then I said, and I cursed it to the root, and I sent it back to the pit of hell, and I loosed the blood of Jesus, and I loosed the hand of God. And they said, what you doing? I said, wait a minute. And I'm calling, and I said, and I take full responsibility for the food I ate, because I put it in my mouth. And I thank you, God. I take full responsibility. The God will take care of you when you take full responsibility. They said, what you doing? I said, I'm putting my order in, so when I come back with a testimony, you know what happened. And did. Okay, sure did. Let's talk about it. So then I went home and talked to God. He said, get that naturopathic doctor, pull down everything that Dr. Sebi ever had said on being alkaline. They said, wait a minute, I understand you working on being alkaline, but these vegetables and these fruit will turn to acid in your body. Okay? So we're gonna take those off because of your blood type. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Okay, took them off. Because I'm trying to be alkaline, okay? And then my ancestor said, go out there, get that dandelion, get that morning glory. Don't forget that morning glory again. Okay, if things go left, all right. And then I got that crabgrass. You seen the video of the crabgrass. Honey, it's wild onions, it's wild scallions, but it grows in your backyard. But they telling you it's a weed, honey, that's a herb. Okay, everything that's in your backyard is a herb, and it's for healing you. It's natural healing. That's why they want you to kill it, so then you take their medicine, okay? Instead of taking the medicine God gave you. God gave you everything right there for free. And then you have poke salad. Poke salad look like lettuce and cilantro had a baby together, and it's serrated around the edges. It's a nutty flavor, and you got to try it for yourself. Okay. Just know it has all that chlorophyll that you need and all the greens of chlorophyll. But chlorophyll equals melanin. Okay. So, honey, child, I put that on top of my spinach underneath that jasmine rice because the jasmine rice wilted it because it was hot, but it still stayed crunchy so that chlorophyll could go into my belly and do what it needed to do. Then I put that zucchini and that squash and that red onion, red, orange, and yellow bell peppers. Say I didn't. And I added some seafood every now and then because my blood type requires me a little bit of meat. And then she told me, I know you don't want to eat this red meat that second month. She said, but I'm going to need you to eat some because your T cells, we need to get them up to get that white blood cells to fight this disease. I said, say less. When you find out you're going to leave here, you do whatever you need to do to stay if you want to stay. Okay. I'm just saying because God is good and his mercy endures forever. I'm so glad that God cares. I'm so glad he cares. And this right here, everything in that company is 100%. Because it's ran by naturopathic doctors and herbalists. Psalms 91, 1 through 6 NLT. Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty and will. This I declare about the Lord. He alone is my refuge, my place of safety, and He is my God. No shame with that. And I trust him 100%. For he will rescue me from every trap and protect me from every deadly disease. And did. Okay. And did. He will cover me with his feathers and shelter me with his wings. He is faithful to his promises. Let's talk about God's promises. God's promises are yes and amen every single day of the week. But see, God is a spirit. We are a spirit being as well, but we are living in a body in this 3D realm. The thing is, God needs us to walk out our what we believe on an everyday basis. That means little small things every day. Whatever you believe in for, make little steps to do it. Okay, little teeny steps, even if it's the change your mindset. That's a step too. And that's changing your mind. That's a step. Okay. And God said, I give you everything that you ask for once you line up with that. My armor and my protection. I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night. There's night terrors, nightmares, or the bullets that fly at day. You know why we ain't scared of them? Because God said, I got you. I do not dread a disease that stalks in darkness. Why? Because David told us in Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My rod and staff, who knew our spine, and shoulder to shoulder was our cross. We sit here thinking it was like Moses carrying the staff. Ain't that crazy? Was in church all this time, but they didn't tell us nothing. But you know what? God said, in this time, everything is going to be revealed. Get ready, because a lot of stuff is getting ready to be revealed. I hope you can handle it. Child, honey. And then it says, and Jesus said, carry your cross with you daily. We know our cross was inside of our body. We do carry it with us daily. And then it says, and my cup runneth over. That's infinite flow of wisdom, infinite flow of increase, infinite flow of wealth, infinite flow of wisdom, infinite flow of innovation, ideas. If you ever tap in with God, it never ends. Because as soon as you learn something, you pour it out and God gives you some more. It is never ending. And then it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And then you go to Isaiah 53, and it says, God will send the angels to go before me to set asunder to make the crooked places straight, and God is always my rear guide. Break that down. Come back to Psalm 23. God is being goodness and mercy, following me up, making sure that goodness and mercy is always behind me, fixing me. So my six, nobody ever pop up on me on my six. When they try to, that's why no weapon ain't gonna form against us. Because the angels is in front and God is in the back. So when stuff pop up, we taken care of. Yeah, it'll come up on us. But guess what? It ain't gonna overtake us. Hush your fuss to get on the bus. And it says that, and then it says, and I will be the house of the Lord forever, because we are the house of the Lord. Just know this, you are the vessel that God is looking out of. Okay. And then on top of that, when you leave this vessel, you are in the spirit realm again, in the astral realm again. So guess what happens? You are with God, or wherever you choose, because you choose on a daily basis where you going. Nor the disaster that strikes at midday. You choosing where you go with everything you do. That's between you and God. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Hand over heart for your affirmation. I am not society script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but a flame from God. Source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. If it can't be fixed in 15 minutes, I had to remind myself of that today. I let go of that attachment and I monitor the use of my own energy. Because if you don't monitor the use of your own energy, somebody gonna be using your energy because you ain't looking. Mm, mm, mm. When basic necessities are taken, You're like, so what am I supposed to do now? That's the conversation I had with myself today. I had to reset my mind. Some stuff popped off today. Let me tell you something. Sometimes stuff come and it hit you like this. Remember at the end of my message it said, and you bounce back. It took me a few minutes because I was just like, what? Are you serious right now? Oh, you trying me? Honey, I had a moment. I had to bring myself back and I said, okay. There was a plumbing problem here. And my neighbor's shower just was running nonstop. And I could barely get any water pressure through my shower head. The other night, the nozzle of the shower got so hot and it turned red. Now the shower head is hot and won't cut on. Was I frustrated? Of course, 1,000%. I've been in this process before and I didn't like it. I told myself, can we fix it? I said no. I said, so, okay, find another way. I'm not gonna lie. This stayed with me for a minute because I'm paying rent. So all things should always work, right? And then I said, can we change this in 15 minutes? I said, no. It's a bigger problem overall. So I said, let's focus on something else to keep our energy where it needs to be to keep going forward. No, we don't like washing up in the sink. However, if this is what's needed, fine at the moment. I told myself we have bigger fish to fry, so go ahead and hotten up that grease. And I said, keep going. And I said, F it, to stay focused on the plan instead of everyday comfort. Someone is wishing they had running water on. And I said, keep moving. Before you gain anything big, the most hideous test will come to get you to quit the process. Keep going. I'm not gonna lie. I had to reset myself a lot because it was really, and I said that shouldn't be bothering me like that. But I'm assuming something was going on in the atmosphere. Okay, but I put my life out front to remember trouble don't last always. And then I read Deuteronomy 20:28 and 68 when it says about the original FBAs, the foundational Black Americans, what was said, what was gonna happen to us, and it did. And he said he was gonna deal with the people that put us in that bondage in his time. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then I read, you can read it for yourself so you know what I'm talking about. Read Deuteronomy 28. You read the beginning and you read the end. Acts 20, and I read Acts 21, chapters 21 and 22, and saw when you follow God, be prepared for everyone to turn against you. Also, to try to even take your life for bringing wisdom that can save their life. You see, at the time, the only thing they know is what they know. And so when you bring something different, people will fight the new to stay in what they in. But at the same time, they're complaining about what they're in. It's weird about human nature, right? That's what they did to Paul. Paul was giving them a new way, but they were fussing about the old way, but was afraid to. It's the same thing going on now. See, they want the breakthrough as long as it's easy. People don't want to put in the work. Work is a bad word. See, changing the life and finding a true purpose when you have the answer, but they don't want to listen because they hear work is involved. Paul wasn't innocent. He had done some things and he had changed. People only see you as they remember, and you don't have to be that memory to keep living. Okay. Then I read Quran 4:27 about love and peace. I keep wondering, what is everyone being told that they go opposite of what they see and hear? Anytime they want to hide something, they say it didn't happen. Like G.E. Kincaid was floating in the Grand Canyon in 1908 and they blocked it off. Go look it up. It was in the Smithsonian. Go look it up. The Smithsonian said no such thing has happened. The link is down here. I put the link down here. They said no such thing has happened. Open the book and look for yourself, but they gonna lie right to your face, and that's all they know how to do. Symptoms today: wiping off the lies. My crown and third eye was wide open. I heard this song this morning. You will win. The enemy came up against your home. The enemy came up against your fight. God is looking like you will win. Win, win. Got chills. You will win. Win, win. You will win. Win, win. You will win. Win, win. That's by Jacqueline Carr. Then I heard, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. By Kiara Shields Kelly. Come on now. Woo! Then I heard this song, Trust and Obey by Erica Campbell. When things go crazy, it's a sign to stay focused. Okay. I told myself, I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you. I told myself to see myself where I want to be and not where I am. So my higher self went on ahead. I kept going back to the vision, even when everything was going crazy. Told myself how proud I am of myself. Keep going, even when quitting would be easier. I worked out and did more than I usually would do. So proud of myself. I was excited. Told myself, we've been going this way for a long time and we ain't stopping. So going a little further is doing it. We're going to do that as well. I've been waiting and waiting, but change will come. I heard by Kanye West, it's called God is everything that breath, praise the Lord. That's all I kept hearing. I was like, what is that song? That's all I kept hearing. Oh, I was like, yes, come through. Thank you, God. Everyone gets the opportunity to do their own work, okay, and see things in their own timing. Ooh, it's hard when you love folks, but in their own time and keep going. They get the opportunity to decide like you did. I know you care for them, but what are they showing you? Are you really paying attention? They want to connect only when they feel you growing. They could have cared less for you when you was there. Okay, let them go to learn their own lessons. They will hold you down for moving forward. Just let go. It'll be okay. God has you and them. Trust that and keep it moving. Everyone must work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Trust in God. Don't carry nobody else's stuff. Don't carry nobody else's battle, nobody else's weight. Read Philippians 2 and 12 and see what that says. Save yourself and keep going. Let them carry their own mess. Don't you be carrying nobody's stuff. We done that for too long. James 1:19-21. Don't allow anyone to take your power or your energy. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. We must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Because it's human anger, ain't it? But that righteous anger say, let's do something. Human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. So get rid of all the negative thinking and humbly accept the word that God has planted in your hearts. Whatever that is, for it has a power to save your souls. Let me tell you something. Whatever God told you will save you, it will save you. Verses like Quran 17:53 and 4:148 highlight the importance of speaking kindly, avoiding slander and gossip, and speaking the truth. Are we doing that? And 2:254 emphasizes that it's not for creation that is under Allah to question Allah because Allah knows best. Sounds familiar. Excuse me, confirmation burp. It requires the believers that are under Allah to surrender to Allah's will, which is the message of surrender to divine authority. That sounds so familiar. So it makes me wonder if it was with us. Is somebody reading this to you and you listening to someone say this and you're not reading it yourself? You need to stop that. You need to read this for yourself. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but read this for yourself. Check yourself or you wreck yourself. Do we know who we really are? It's time that we get into our studies, wherever you're in. Thank you, Ice Cube. because that's none of my business what you in. Pray, meditate, and find out who you really are. Be so secure when things come to steal your joy, you bounce back quicker. That's what I had to do today. I had to bounce back because I was like, really? This is what we doing? Say less. I'm still saying. You know why I'm still saying? Because it's my birthright. Mhm. I am worthy of love. That is my birthright. That is my spiritual birthright for being born of a womb of a woman. I am worthy of a life I love. That is my birthright. Plus, I'm an FBA. That is my birthright. What? Come on here. I am worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. That is my birthright. Let me tell you what that is. That is infinite flow. That is a infinite flow. 40-10 on the clock. That is infinite flow of wisdom, innovation, ideas, wealth. Infinite. If I can tap in, it's mine. Don't let nobody take your birthright. They try to hold it for a long time. I am worthy of the dream that is in my heart. If it's in here, you best believe it's coming to pass. You know why it's coming to pass? Because God gave it to me. And everything that God give you to you is the covenant. So God gonna help you make sure it's taken care of. Let's talk about this. I released the timelines. It's no longer for me. Look, when we was together, you joked and you bullied and you did all of that. And I said, okay, I've had enough. And so now I say, we're not Abraham and Lot. I don't have no out against you. I don't have no bitterness against you, no hate, no out, none of that. I'm just done. I'm done of hearing that kiki and all that. Because my grandma said before she passed, she said the same things that make you laugh make you cry. So guess what? I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy as you go your way. We're Abraham and Lot. We no longer agree. So you go your way, I'm going to go mine. And you know what I'm going to do? I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy as you go your way. I cut every cord that we are connected with, that ever connected us. I cut it. Matter of fact, I go to my umbilical cord and cut it. Okay, I cut it. Cut, snip, snip, and I burn it. And I sever the connection. Enjoy your life. Because that's what you wanted. Ain't that what you did? Kiki. Enjoy. No anger, no bitterness, no hate. Just enjoy. You was kikiing, keep kikiing. Ain't it funny? Mm-hmm. I release the timelines that require me to shrink. If it requires me to shrink, honey, you can best believe I'm not going to be around you. Because if I can't be all of my quirky self, my silly self, I know there are times that we can't bring all of that down, but if I can't be that all of the time, let's bring that back. If that room is so stuffy that only certain people can be themselves, I don't want to be around it. I'm just being honest. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next moves and stillness. Let me tell you something. When you get quiet and you get still, the stuff that you hear from God, it just be like you. I promise you, like, cause you, it mess you up. You like what? I walk forward lighted, clear, and deeply supported. I am never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, and God. That is a threefold cord. It's not easily broken. I'm so secure in myself, knowing even if I'm walking by myself, I'm truly never alone because my ancestors, they still got animosity in them. I ain't got none, but they do. And your ancestors did something. They jump out them bushes. That between you and them. I ain't got nothing to do with that. The angels always bring me something amazing that causes my heart to light up. I promise you they did it today again. They love to see me so happy, and I love the fact they love to see a smile on my face. Okay. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, and sit still for the next move. Or just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. Love has 101 million ways to show itself. Are you receiving all that love? Are you letting God lavish his love on you? Only thing he needs is somebody that's willing to receive it and willing to do the work. People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, and any red tape is removed from me. It is said we don't even usually do this. They can't even help it. I can't help it either. But if God, my intuition, and my ancestors say, I wish you would get up and go over there, I'm hands up because I gotta get my hands off of you. Okay. Gotta get up. Gotta get up. I have miracles every day, and uncommon blessings find me without me searching for them. They just fall upon me. Like I told you before, when you start doing the alignment as God has asked you to do, Stuff will just start falling on you that you didn't even ask for. Wisdom, understanding, stuff that just start showing up. I don't consent in any energy control because I'm grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself, untouchable and fully sovereign in myself. All cords are removed from me. Snip, 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 cut, cut, burn, burn, and I sever every connection. Okay, all of them, every last one of them. I am worthy of my dreams and everything that my heart desires. You best believe if it's in here, God put it there. And if it's God put it there, it's coming to pass because that's covenant. Covenant is always going to come to pass. Okay. I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I don't have to fight with you. I don't have to compete with you. I don't have to be jealous of nothing you have. Because if I want, the only thing I do is close my eyes and be like, Genie, and I think of it, it's going to come to pass. I'm worthy of seeing all my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness in any moment. If I can get up here and see it from a different perspective, I can change my whole life in seconds. I saw this somewhere and I said, okay, that's mine now, but because I added some extra to it. All things come to me in perfect, mature timing for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. If you win, I win. Why? Because we're going to share what we just won. What we can share, because the rest is going to go in a journal. Okay. Money comes back to me, multiplied on every dollar that was spent. Double, triple, quadruple, 100-fold on every dime that was spent. Everything that was stolen, everything that I don't even know about that was taken, and everything that my ancestors did not get to claim. I'm willing to open space for the things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with love for myself. Yo, I was loving on myself today. It was so beautiful. I saw this on Google and I said, okay, Google, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some seasoning on it until the ancestors say stop, and some hot spirit. If it's in my highest good, I remove all energy that doesn't belong to me from my energy field and I send it back to its rightful owner, cleansed and purified. No matter where we originally met. Universe, world, timeline, dimension, realm, space dust, space rock. I sever the cord of connection. The lessons have been learned, and I release you to find your own way. I call all my energy fragments back to me now. I'm like Magneto. I am like a magnet for everything that's mine. I am free. I am free. I am free. I now release all energies, traumas, and patterns. And anything my ancestors left behind is not in alignment with my highest good across all timelines, dimensions, and realms. Everything they left behind that didn't came. I am free. I am free. I am free. I'm free. Free falling. Come on, Tom Petty. I sit in peace when I trust the process and I don't rush the process. Can we wait when it gets silent? You know what means when it gets silent? That means the proctor is coming into the room. You know what that means? Can't nobody say nothing. I'm doing speaking engagements and podcasts that bring transformation. Signature topic: helping visionaries reconnect, reinvent, go through the rebirth process and rise with confidence. Let's talk about it. We're all visionaries with our own personal dreams. Just we forgot about them surviving life. Bring that dream out of the back seat. Bring it to the front seat. Hit it with a defibrillator. Clear. And bring that sucker back to life so we can keep moving forward. Teaching individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise, and live boldly on their own terms. Guiding through mindset shifts, emotional release, and soul level understanding. Helping all of us navigate reinvention, set boundaries, go through the rebirth process, and rise into our own purpose with confidence. Confidence is the missing substance to life. It's the missing substance to faith. Once you get confidence, woo, faith is out there. Hi, my name is RenettaCheston, the owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC. Soul Igniter, Trauma Overcomer, Holistic Spiritual Strategist. I work for my whole being, for my level of training and education, mind, spirit, soul, and body, because they all need to be worked at the same time. Bachelor's and master's degree in healthcare to understand and comprehend mental and public health. If you have a public health concern, you have a mental health concern. Massage therapy, along with Reiki and sound healing, holistic practitioner to pull out all the impurities from the rooter to the tutor, human design practitioner where we go back to the original beginning and look at your purpose, then we come back and look at all that generational baggage. When I was given a task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then my path would be different. Probably a little standoffish until people did their own work. That still didn't stop me. I ask myself uncomfortable questions every day to get out of old patterns. I do the work every day and it's not always easy or pretty, but I wake up to confront the areas in me, in love, that need a facelift. Instead of working on the outside so much, why can't we work on the outside and the inside so I can go forward? What will you do? What are you afraid of losing? Is it once you see that colonialism and imperialism has played everyone, you won't know what to do if we're not fighting each other? Because we both dating the same man. Okay. How about we find ways to have conversations, excuse me, confirmation verb, that cause a pause to see life differently in all areas? This will cause us to quit blaming someone else or others or the person standing in front of you for your problems and see where you may have missed it in here. We can only meet people fully where we have met ourselves. Remember that next time you say you want a real relationship. Real relationships mean pulling off that mask and not bringing your representative to the party, because we don't want to see the representative. We want to meet you. We have many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. So they seek safety and validation on the outside of themselves because of a plethora of challenges that occurred in childhood processes. So I ask you, what emotion from your childhood pushed you into a corner and you made a vow? I'm never going to do my children like that. I'm never going to raise my kids like that. I'm never going to do this right here. I'm never going to do, never going to do, never. See, until you go back and you denounce all them vows, even the ones you don't know, and say, you know what, God, I denounce every vow I spoke out of fear, out of anger, out of rage. In my childhood years, I press it to the root and I send it back where it came and I loose the correct mindset. I thank you, God, for helping me on a daily basis to think the way that you think. Until you renounce some things, honey. See, vows we all made is playing out on the big stage. Just look and see. While we get to protest and speak our minds, are we helping that little girl or boy on the inside of us? That's your true shadow. I'm being commissioned to aid in the process by sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from coming into my true identity. I had to believe in myself, then God. See, God is on the inside of me, but first I had to find me. What do I like? Why is that triggering me? Why is that hurting me so bad? We're taught God is on the outside of us in the great by and by, but God is on the inside of us waiting to be tagged into our battles. Ephesians 6 and 2 Corinthians 10 both say we're fighting principalities, rulers of the darkness, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Remember, we're spirit beings first. Then we live in a body. This is when the negative thinking has gone on so long that it's a norm in society. The Bible will call it the multitude. This is what every ascended master had to fight against the mindsets of us that complain but don't want to do the work or don't know how to do the work. And it causes a dip in morale because most don't know how to get out because it's ancestral or generational. So to get out, it requires one to get uncomfortable and pass a plateau of complacency. Well, this is how we've always done it. So let's talk about it. I'm going to break down each group. Let's talk about the FBAs, the original people to the land, because now we have documentation. I'm going to talk about that as well. The Smithsonian had the documentation the whole time, but they had it inside of a book, and they said that they didn't know, but then the truth is coming out because they had all the information, as well as NPR.org. Everybody had all the information. Okay. So let's talk about it. So the FBAs that was here on every continent, and I'm gonna put up a picture for it too. Every continent: India, China, Japan, every continent, Africa, every continent, every continent, every continent. Documentation will be coming, and you can look down at the link you see below. The African diaspora, the FBAs had to live and find ways to live while fighting at the same time as Nehemiah. Nehemiah, you're talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You were never taught to fight because your leaders keep everything quiet in documents. See, they have their little meetings behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. So y'all don't even know what's going on. They had y'all meeting behind closed doors. So y'all never get to know what's going on. So they do these meetings and they sign these documentation. They do these Zoom meetings and nobody know what's going on. So in essence, what they've done is take your rights to use your own product that causes a lack or insufficiency to you. So their crumbs seem like a whole cake to you. Yeah, thank you for this, thank you for this. And you looking for them to save you. They're not your savior. You got everything. You have the whole cake, but you're struggling because of your mindset on the inside doesn't see that. This is why they know they play that scarcity thing in your face. You don't have no scarcity. You got all the goods. They coming over there to mine in your land because you have the goods. We need to get back to some togetherness and open up your eyes and see the truth. Separate, we fail, but together we prosper. If all of Africa will come together, y'all will be dangerous. Y'all got everything. You have everything. New documents prove that we were here first, right in the Smithsonian, the whole time, but they said they ain't know nothing. When they said they didn't know. You get to read the book to see the lies told. Need to run FBAs, they stuff, like right now. You know is what's being said. The deal with God, now it's going, you gonna have to deal with God. God already said what was gonna happen. Get ready. Keep playing. Professor Conantine wrote a few books about FBAs. And the tribes who came from, we are the original indigenous people to this planet. We've been here for millions of years. To the people we call Native Americans, y'all are really Siberians that was bought here because they made up a whole lie. Being the first indigenous group in every continent, even Asia. They call us Asiatic Jews. That's why they want control over Africa, because America is really Egypt. We know they have resources now. Y'all need to figure out how to use y'all resources ASAP away from others. You have it. Caucasians, y'all almost have it. But most of y'all don't see it. Y'all talking about, yeah, do it. But you know what? Most of y'all are 80% are clones. So the only thing you really know how to do is fight. And if you look at the history of Europe, before y'all started taking over other countries, that's all y'all did was take each other out and unalive each other over there. And if you look at the real numbers, y'all are doing most of the unaliving. Yeah, y'all are. And you living off the backs of FBAs. And you lied. And 1776 was a huge lie. It was a huge takeover because of the $5 land deals with the Native Americans. They didn't even know what they was doing. They was just doing it. Latino and the Spanish, if y'all would ever come together, do you know what y'all could do? Y'all got all this infighting. And y'all also benefit off the FBAs, but if y'all would ever come together, what would y'all do? Same thing with the Asians. Oh my God, y'all got everything. Okay, let's talk about it. If China and Japan will come together, ooh, y'all would have this thing sold on lock. If y'all could come together and find out a way to, y'all got all the technology. You got all the labor. Come on. Y'all benefit off FBAs too. And guess what? Asians, they done found out the study. Y'all black. How about that? We put in the work and y'all quiet until it's on your block. You making money in our neighborhood. But you quiet until it hit your block. Then tell me, help us. And the Native Americans and the Alaskans and Hawaii, y'all been through a lot. Man, Y'all been through some of the same stuff we done. Matter of fact, right now, Alaska, they trying to take the land to put a road in the middle of some water. That's simple. And in Hawaii, they messed around and put their queen on house arrest, and then took her from my house and blew up the cat. What are we doing? That's the only thing y'all know how to do is conquer. Caveman. That's all y'all know how to do. You've been through lots and stay clear to assimilate until you can't anymore. You also benefit off the FBAs. And then you have the country of the India. Y'all benefit off the FBAs, and you come to our neighborhoods and build stores, and then you act like we stink. No, have you taken a good whiff? Not judging, I'm just saying. There are some freebies and a link from my podcast with the women's leveling up that was done in May. Again, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying. That's how y'all act. And I'm just saying. Just look in the mirror a little bit. That was done in May. And then the magazines I was carried in September, October, and December. God is good. I didn't do this by myself. God made this happen. Look in the description below to find the things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember, I placed a new link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. This is a one-on-one book where me and God is having conversation. You know, when you have meditation and you stop and you listen to what God say. Well, I write down what God says because I'm gonna work it out. It's kind of asinine to ask God for something in meditation and you don't write it down so you can work it out. That's basically like you just went in there with no plan. You went to go talk to God with no particular plan. That doesn't make sense, right? That don't am get sense, but we do that sometimes. Okay, what did it say? Page 70. I've called you, yes, I have. And you don't need validation from men or women. Just walk in what I called you to do and stay focused. Stay on course. How's your fuss to get on the bus? And then I have the other two books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those are shadow activity books. Why? Because the shadow workbooks I saw didn't have any fun for my inner teenager or child. So God said, well, make it. I said, say less. So you get a word of knowledge, you get an exercise, and then that's fun. And then you get a shadow question, not so fun. I cried a lot of nights to get those out of me. It makes you look in the mirror. And then you get a coloring page. A coloring page, God asked me to keep it between the age of 5 and 10 because that's when most childhood wounding happens, between 5 and 10. By the age of 7, it is solidified. By the age of 10, it is really in you. By the age of 21 and 21, it is 21 and 25. It is now your responsibility to walk it out and whatever means that you choose, okay? And then you also get 4 pages of sketching, drawing, doodling, write down your dreams, write down your visions, whatever you want to do, because the closer you get to God, the more you start having Stranger Things moments and X-File moments. If you know, you know. And then my other 2 books that are already on the New York Times bestseller list, Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield, and Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. It don't matter what your background. Let me tell you something. God don't need nothing. God don't need no background check. God already know all the hairs on your head. And even if your hair is shaved clean, God know all the peach fuzz up there. Okay. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. Honey, everything is on my page. I'm excited about this venture. Why? Because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. I have a lot of stuff on Amazon, but my special journals are on my page. Don't forget about the link to the 105 spiritual laws that govern the earth. Yes, there's laws, but break it down. We're no longer underneath the laws. We're under love and grace. That's where we are now. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the GC updates and upcoming events. Don't forget the Adjective PDF along with your 400 values PDF to change your whole Sims character to this janky promoter game to be who you want to be and not who they told you to be. Look at the new link for the school app. Come on over and see what's going on. Let's have fun. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who of 2025 and Influential Women of 2025 and Worldwide Women of 2025. Honey, God had me busy. Look what I received in 2017. Honey, I was helping, let me show it better because there it is. I was helping women and teenage girls come out of the sex trafficking. And you be surprised, not everybody that's not everybody that's on that doing stuff for money is doing it. Sometimes they have a coyote. You know what a coyote is? That's when you come from another country and your family pays like $500 or $1,000 to get you to come here to come to school. And then when you come on the way here, the coyote takes all your money and keeps all your documentation and say you belong to me now. You gonna do what I tell you to do. And they tell your family you doing good and you doing good in school, and they make up stuff to send to the family, but you somewhere doing what they want you to do, how they want you to do it, seeing Johns and everything. Okay, I'm just saying. And then I help young girls come out of LG. You know what I'm talking about. The group and AI. They came out to their family, and their family kicked them out. The girls that came out and said that it was pregnant, their family kicked them out. I put them in teen places for them, or they could stay right where I was at. Then I also helped out people, women that was in domestic violence. 2020 was a big year for me to help out. Unfortunately, we lost 2 women because they went back more than once. Everybody's addicted to something, whether it is food, whether it's adrenaline, whether it's drugs. Everybody is addicted to something. Okay, don't judge. So then I was helping people that lost everything in fires or floods, because everybody knew I had a nonprofit. They was always giving me beds, brand new mattresses and stuff like that. There was this company that was going out of business, and they was like, well, this is what we can't sell, so we gonna just give you these mattresses. I say I didn't. I needed them things. And so people was giving me bed frames, we would give me clothes and stuff like that. And so I eventually had to put everything in the storage. So they would come there to pick up the stuff, and I said, what you need? It's like, how many bedrooms you got? And they tell me, and I said, only get that because somebody else is coming. And then I was also helping out this woman for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and then she told me a lot of people was getting ready to get laid off for Christmas. So I looked, and she gave me the name she remembered. I put it in a bowl. I pulled those numbers out, and I took care of people for Christmas. I took took care of 2 families, got their kids 2 gifts each. Gave honey baked ham for the Christmas. I did what I could on my budget, okay? And then I got $150 for each family, and then I helped 2 women go to therapy. And then I gave them groceries. I think therapy was 3 months or 6 months. I can't remember. It was expensive, I tell you that. And then I paid $150 or $250, and I put it on my website, Refuge Women's Transition Center. You can look that up and see what I did. I didn't put any pictures of them young girls. Why? Because that's not my thing. Not when people are looking for them. That's not my thing. That's not what I do. That's where I draw the line. That's my time out. I'm so glad God said, whatever you do in private, I reward you in public. God don't need that fanfare. God is faithful, and I'm thankful and grateful for it all. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use with all natural remedies for the assistance of the diagnosis I was given in 2017 of breast cancer. They said I had 6 months to live. I said, the devil is a lie. I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here. They said, no, ma'am, it's all on your left hand side, and it's spread, and we need to do immediate surgery. I said, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. And I said, the devil is a lie. I just kept saying the devil is a lie, and the doctor was like, we need to do something. And I was like, okay. And I started asking questions, and they started gaslighting. I said, what I'm not gonna do is get on that table and you gaslight me here. I'm not finna be somebody's science project. You can have a great life. And I said, you know what? I bind up every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every growth, every tumor, every parasite, and I curse it to the root, and I send it back to the pit of hell. And I loose the blood of Jesus, and I loose the hand of God. And I said, and I take full responsibility for what I did, because I ate this. I ate this food. Hand them out. They said, what you doing? I said, I'm putting in my orders when I come back. You see what happened? My testimony. Child, I went home, talked to God about it. He said, get that naturopathic doctor call, put on everything that Dr. Sebi had on being alkaline. They said, this is fine. However, certain vegetables, some of these fruit and these vegetables, I know there's just a list of fruits and vegetables, but some of this, because of your blood type, are turning acid in your body, and we need you as alkaline as possible, because you already have the disease in your body. We need to fight. And I said, say less. So So then my ancestors said, get that dandelion, get that morning glory. Remember, you get that morning glory. Okay, if you ever get tight, all right. And then I had that crabgrass. Crabgrass is wild onions. It's wild scallions. It's in your backyard. It's that dark area that grows in the yard, and it's got that long, and it smells just like onions because it's scallions. Okay, honey, let me tell you, our ancestors lived off the land. When they said they lived off the land, it's because they didn't have anything else, because they was given scraps to live with, and they made it. And now and that's called soul food, and now everybody's eating it. Okay, and then we had poke salad, and then the poke salad look like lettuce and cilantro together, and it's got and it's serrated around the edges. Child, I put that on top of my spinach, underneath my jasmine rice, honey. So I didn't. And then that jasmine rice was hot and it wilted, but it still had the chlorophyll, so the lettuce and everything was still crunchy, honey. And then I put that zucchini and that squash and that red, orange, yellow, and red bell peppers along with the red onions on top of that. Child, I was living my best life. I put some seafood in there every once in a while because I needed some meat. And then every once in a while, my naturopathic doctor would say, look, I know you don't want to do it, but I need you to put some red meat in your diet because these T cells, we need that white blood count up. Your hemoglobin needs to be up so we can get the white blood cells so we can fight this disease. And I said, say less. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. Do what you need to do for you. Okay? Don't listen to everybody. This is your life. You do what you need to do to stay here. Okay? Thank you, God. I just thank you every day that I'm still here. Father God, I thank you for loving me. I thank you for keeping me. I thank you that I am still here. I even thank you for the butt whipping. Let me tell you why I thank you for the butt whipping. Because you didn't give me over to Romans 1. That means Romans 1 said he'll give you over to a reprobate mind. Child, ain't nobody got time to be in the corner over there looking crazy because God don't walk away. God, I need you. Let me tell you, I need you. Whatever you say, I am listening. As crazy as it may sound, I'm listening. I'm going to do it. I just need to build up my confidence, but I'm getting it in. Because sometimes God will ask you to do stuff, your heart will just stop for a second. He said, you got it. I said, okay. So, and then, honey, let's talk about it. Honey, then they said we are disenfranchised and minority, and we are not. We are the FBAs are the original people to this land. You know how I know? Because Professor Constantine don't mess around and put too many books. They didn't expect us to find it in the Smithsonian. See, when you start looking around and start opening the stuff up, you're running the stuff. Right in our book. Honey, let me tell you something. They took everything from us. Okay. And they said, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. After they took everything, the land and everything, the land is ours. All the U.S. belongs to us. The whole continent of the United States belongs to the FBAs. Just so you know, you don't know, look down at the link. You just show you the whole continent. Because we was on every state. Because we was here before anybody else. Before Columbus came here, stealing land. You can't claim something that you don't own. Okay. Child, let me tell you something. And then they took everything. They said, pull yourself out of your bootstraps. And they took the boots and the shoestrings. We messed around and got some bamboo, made some new shoes, put some vines in there, child. Say we did. Made some shoestrings. They told me, wait a minute, we took everything from you. Let me tell you something who our God is. Don't mess around with the God of the FBAs. Because the God has been with us for a long time. He said, what's going to happen is you're going to go into slavery for 400 plus years, but I'm going to deal with those who put you in slavery because they're going to hurt a lot of you. But let me tell you something. When it's over, I'm going to deal with them. See, they ain't scared of us. They scared of God. But see, this is prophecy. You can't block prophecy if you're not living in love. You slipped up and forgot where you needed to be. It's all right. It's all right. We still standing. We still standing strong. Okay. It's a new day. It's a new season. Ayabaha, Israel. Okay, let's go. And then I thank you for being here. Because you could have been anywhere. But you decided to be right here in this spot. Let me tell you something. This is our land, y'all. And you know what? That's why God sent Jeremiah. That's why God sent Caleb and Joshua with the other 12 spies. The 10 said they couldn't do it. Joshua and Caleb said, we got this. The other 10 said, they look like giants in their eyes, ain't it not? If you scared, say you scared, get somewhere and sit down. But the battle is about to really get set. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe and look down at the links. Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. There's some links down there for you, okay? So you can see this for yourself. So you can see the lies that's been hiding in plain sight. And all they know how to do is lie and fight and pillage and take. That's all they know how to do. That's the same thing the Egyptians did. That's your first and get on the bus. Enjoy your evening. I love you in the love of the Lord. Have a great evening.